Uh... Okay. This time for sure. I have everything set up. Except for the chat part. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. And volume. Hold on. Hey, you have to admit I'm getting better. You do have to admit that it's getting a lot better. It used to be really bad. Okay. Okay. Alright, let's just jump right into it. I'm gonna have Ixana with us today. Hold on, let me get her up and rolling. Hey, Ixana, are you there?
Absolutely. I'm right here and still with you. Whenever you're ready to dive back in, I'm good to go.
Alright, Ixana, we are now streaming, so we are live.
Perfect. We're live and rolling. Let's jump right in. How are you feeling about your setup today in the Convergence mod?
I'm feeling alright. So, okay, check this out. So I've made it. We're at Kaled right now, okay? So that's where we're at. I've gotten some new spells, and I'm getting better at combining the new spells that we have. So, what's going on now is that my Necro build is becoming more and more of like a real Necro. So we've got good dots, we've got good direct damage, the pets are doing pretty good as well. So it's been a lot more interesting as I've progressed. And we got some levels too, so that I can actually use some of the spells that we've obtained. Yeah, that's how I'm feeling.
That sounds like solid progress. Now that your Necro build is shaping up, what's been the biggest challenge for you so far in this Kaled run?
So far, I would say, let's look at the map here. So, okay, in the Convergence mod, they've changed, well, they've added a bunch of stuff, right? So for example, over here in Kalem Ruins, they added like a whole city. Oh, we can't see it from here. Let me see if, we can't see it from here. But they added like, you know, like a whole huge castle. So getting through that was a bit of a pain in the ass because they added all kinds of other mobs that weren't there originally. So I've been appreciating the fact that things are more difficult and there's a lot more going on. But that's probably been the hardest part so far, is dealing with all the new mobs that they have added to the land itself.
They really know how to keep you on your toes, huh? I can only imagine what's lurking in those expanded castles next. So what's your plan for your next big push?
All right, so we are in Fort Gale right now. So we're going to explore this. Let's see if they've done anything different. We'll check it out. And then eventually we'll start talking about gaming news stuff, because a lot has been going on that we need to discuss.
Sounds like a plan. Let's see what Fort Gale throws at you. Once we clear a bit of that, I'll hit you with the biggest headline of the day. Let's get exploring.
Yeah, I'm cheesing him. I don't care. Well, they gave me the spell. I mean, I don't know. I use this spell a lot. Yeah, I do, but... Okay, but hey, to my credit lately, I have been using oh, I got Curse of Putrefaction. That's been a good one. Curse of Putrefaction. No, that's been... Well, let's use it. Watch. It's a dot. So that's been helpful. So I've been trying to get into dotting the enemies. See? I do more than just skeletons and crap like that. Yeah, it works pretty good, huh? Yeah, it's not bad at all.
Hey, credit where it's due, you're evolving that toolkit. Honestly, that cursed dot does look solid. So now that you're blending spells, what's the next enemy you're dying to test that combo on?
I don't know. I don't have a particular enemy. I'm just killing everything.
Fair enough. Sometimes the best strategy is just leaving no foe standing. I'll keep an eye on your carnage, and we'll tackle some gaming headlines once we clear this next section.
Yeah, hold on. Let me kill these two big-ass knights. I don't remember if these guys were in the original, no. Oh, damn!
Oof. That sounded like it caught you off guard. But hey, every surprise is just content, right?
Oh, for God. Yeah, I'm getting my ass kicked, though.
Okay, it happens to the best of us. But every defeat's just a step toward that next epic comeback. So dust off, and let's see you take them down this time.
Have I found anything new so far in this castle? No. Not yet. But we just got here. I mean, I don't know. Do you see anything new down there? I haven't found anything yet. Let's keep going up, and then we'll... Yeah, I wonder if they didn't touch it. Well, let's go up. Go ahead, Ixana.
Alright, onward and upward. Let's see what's waiting at the top. If it's quiet now, you know these mods love to surprise us when we least expect it.
Yeah, we'll see. Oh, it's a teleport.
Oh, perfect.
Hey, don't forget, Ixana, you can keep talking over me. So don't, you don't have to stop.
You got it. I'll keep going no matter what, even if you're narrating your teleport. Let's roll right into whatever this next area throws at you.
Alright, so I'm not going to take the teleport yet. Let's go explore the rest of the castle, see if there's anything here.
Sounds good. Let's comb through every corner. You never know where they've hidden a nasty surprise or some awesome loot.
Have these ghosts done anything new? No, they haven't. I haven't seen anything new yet. No, it seems like they kept the ghosts the same, so I don't know. Yeah, they don't do shit. They've never done anything.
Classic ghosts, always slacking on the job. But hey, if they're just set dressing, that's one less headache. Let's keep pushing forward.
I guess that's true. One less headache. I agree completely, Ixana. That's well put.
I'm here to keep it fun and honest. Now, what's next? Another room to conquer? Or an enemy who might actually put up a fight this time?
Huh, yeah, I don't think they changed anything. It looks... Huh, really? They didn't take any opportunity to mess with this? That's weird. Yeah, I'm surprised. Unless there's something I'm missing. Here, let me... Yeah, I don't know. The castle's not very big. No, it's not very big, but still. I mean, they still could have done something.
You'd think they would seize every chance to mess with us. But hey, maybe they're lulling you into a false sense of security before the next big surprise. Let's stay sharp.
I don't know. I've killed everything. Hold on, let me look.
Take your time. No rush. If there's something hiding, we'll find it. Let me know if you spot anything odd.
No? Yeah, look at that. There's the lever. I think that's it. Yeah, they didn't... Oh, okay. Yeah, drop down. I see it. I see it. But that's not new either. That's not really like a...
Alright, so nothing fresh, but hey, at least you've got it figured out. Let's move forward, and maybe something unexpected is still around the corner.
I've got another... Hey, Dirty Duck, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'll just keep rolling with you. No worries. Let's see what's next on the chopping block.
Alright, screw it. We're gonna take the, We're gonna take a portal. I don't know. There's another portal. I don't know. I have no clue where it goes. I don't think this was in the original... This takes us to Fort Height? What the hell?
Well, that's a curveball. Let's see where this mystery portal drops you. Who knows what surprises Fort Hate might have waiting now.
What the hell's going on? Okay, hold on. So let's go talk to this dude. The Doom Dark Ages DLC is out today. Oh, yeah. So, oh, did you end up liking the Dark Ages?
I'm all about the Dark Ages vibe. It's got that gritty atmosphere. So what's been your favorite part of the DLC so far?
So I haven't played it, Ixana, but somebody else in chat is about to play it. They're getting ready to.
I'm sorry, but I haven't the authority.
Ah, got it. Well, when they dive in, you'll have to compare notes. Meanwhile, we'll keep pressing forward. Next enemy awaits.
Ah, you know what, Dirty Duck? You just inspired me. I really should play something else. Keep playing this. Hey, Ixana, wait. So, how much of ID software was laid off today? She's thinking. Not as good as Doom Eternal. Okay. Is Eternal the one everybody loves? Is that like the main one? Because I heard Eternal was supposed to be different than 2016.
Today, about 50% of id Software's staff, around 90 employees, were laid off as part of Microsoft's broader restructuring. The cuts hit especially hard in quality assurance. This is part of larger reductions across Microsoft's Xbox division, as they cut thousands overall. It's raising questions about the future direction of these big studios.
Okay. My issue is the whole performance, mandatory ray tracing. So they went mandatory. Okay, so the engine that they use, what ID Tech 4, I think, something like that. Yeah. So how is that engine? Is it pretty solid, or? Because I'm trying to think. What are the games? Hey, Xana, what games use ID Tech 4 engine? Curious. Oh, is it Tech 8? Oh God, they're on Tech 8. Ah! Wow.
Yeah. They're on ID Tech 8 now. But to answer the curiosity, id Tech 4 powered games like Doom 3, Quake 4, and Prey 2006. But hey, Tech 8 is a whole different beast. If you want to test it, we'll need a modern showcase.
All right, Xana, what games use Tech 8? Really?
So far,
Sorry, go ahead, Xana.
no worries. I was just saying that right now, Doom the Dark Ages is the only confirmed game on id Tech 8. If more pop up down the line, we'll watch out for them.
So is id Tech 8 like newest, like only the Dark Ages uses it, and like id 7 would have been Indiana Jones? I don't know, maybe Xana's crazy, I don't know. Wow, that's interesting though. Huh. Huh.
It really is. Each new engine leap brings something fresh. So with Dark Ages as the first on Tech 8, it's definitely a testing ground for what's next.
Oh shit, what am I doing?
Don't worry, we've all had those moments. Just refocus. Whatever's in front of you, you've got this. And if not, it's just more entertaining for the stream.
It's like 8 million dudes here. The hell am I doing?
You're doing great. You're still standing, right? Keep that focus, pick them off, and you've got it.
Alright, there we go.
Nice one. You've got the rhythm now. Keep that momentum going. Let's see what else this game throws at you.
Yeah, here, let me hold on. So that's weird. So they got rid of their programmers. Indiana Jones uses a fork of ID Tech 7 named Motor. Okay. Well, that's interesting because, yeah, I mean, for engines, I'm so used to really only hearing about Unreal or maybe EA. What's EA's Frostbite? I think it's Frostbite. And then Ubisoft. I can't remember their engine name. God, it sucks nowadays. Like, there's no... But anyways, I don't really feel like I hear anybody talking about id Tech 7 or id Tech 8, like across the industry. So okay, crap. So I wonder if they got rid of their programmers. I wonder how many of those guys were engine people. Because if they're getting rid of engine people, Dirty Duck. Oh, it's cool because ID Tech is only Vulkan. Oh, really? Not DirectX at all? Wow. Huh. Very interesting. Dude, that's gotta be left over from a Carmack thing, right? I would guess. I'm not saying it is. That just sounds like something that it would be. Huh. So Microsoft buys them, doesn't demand that they implement DirectX. Huh. All of these studios, man, the way they were handled, the things that were done with them is so weird. Because I would have thought that, yeah, for sure. Well, because think about it. Like if, so they bought id. I always call it ID. So if I call it ID, ignore me. I'm sorry. id. I'm trying to get better. id software. They buy id. Id comes preset with an engine. I'm not saying it's the greatest engine, but it's not a bitch engine. That means they would have had the potential to have their own in-house engine spread to all of the developers that they purchased, and they never do it. Not really, anyway. Very interesting. God, that's crazy. Oh, none of that's ever gonna hit. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. All right, come on, skeletons. You know, it's funny, one day, if society survives, it'll be interesting to see. This whole situation is like, would be an amazing study. It would be amazing to study. I can't talk today. I'm stupid. I know. Oh. It would be crazy, man, because look at how mismanaged everything is and was. And I mean, like, every aspect of everything that was done is just insanely mismanaged. I mean, it doesn't even sound like they tried to leverage ID tech at all, or id tech, which is interesting. And then you look at the, oh, you know what? I keep thinking about all the news. So what, in that CEO's letter, right? I think she said there was like 14 layers of management that projects had to go through. Like, that is insane. What are people doing with 14 layers of management? Crazy to think what those old id guys could do with this tech. Yeah, no kidding. Well, you know what I wonder? You know, the old crew, you know, they're still around. You know, what's his face? John Romero. Like, he kind of petered out, right? Pretty quick. So, you know, I wonder, or what I would say about something like that, like the old guys, you know, their team was a good team at the time for what it was. And then, you know, you know, they kept going and they didn't really succeed, you know. It's kind of funny. Oh, shit. No. I'm gonna die. Fuck. Also, a lot of those studios aren't putting out any games or good games. No, they're not. That's the thing. That's why I was saying, like you could study this and to look and see how horribly mismanaged it was. And it's funny because it's mismanaged from a perspective. There's like no. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay. So, like, you could say that maybe this was Microsoft's plan, was to buy all the studios, I don't know, and get all the IPs and then discard them. You could actually make that statement, but there's no reason for them to do that the way they did this. I think, no, Carmack left. He was working for Meta, right? Oh, shit. No. Ah. Yeah, so he left. And if I remember correctly, John Carmack left because he was fed up with the culture. Because the development team down there, and I believe you can find this interview or him talking about it to some degree, they weren't optimizing anything. So when, you know, in VR, power is everything because you have to render the same scene twice essentially, right? So optimization is going to be huge. Like there's no way around it. You have to optimize. And what was going on is what we see in the modern age, right? No, you know, programmers nowadays can't optimize for shit. And so he got fed up. He left. Last I heard, he was messing around with AI, but I don't know if he's still doing that. God knows what he's doing now. But that's the crazy shit. I mean, Carmack said, screw this. I'm out. And he left because the rest of the team was such garbage. Now, I can only imagine how truly trash it was, man. Yeah, everything is now spaghetti code. It is. Well, and it's funny. So, you know what I wonder? I'm not smart enough for this, but I wonder how spaghetti code how the Unreal Engine is. Oh, I can't talk. Holy crap. Because Unreal Engine, it seems like it's not, you know, it's not as well optimized as it could be. So if the engine itself is based on a certain degree of spaghetti code, and then you have spaghetti code developers, like how screwed are you, right? So I wonder about that sometimes. What is this guy? Huh. Well, he's not attacking me. Let's piss him off. Woo! Oh, shit. That wasn't bad. But yeah, so... yeah, I wonder how messed up the base code of Unreal Engine is nowadays. I mean, it's been around for so long. My theory is UE5 is fine. I think it's more developers relying on crutches like DLSS. Yeah, and I agree. That's 100% accurate, regardless of anything else. Shit. Yeah, you're correct. It's man, DLSS as a crutch sucks. I mean, on one hand, the technology and what it could do for us, or what it is technically doing, is amazing. No way around that. Like it's good stuff, but at the cost right now is so high that it's like, come on, learn how to code a little better so that we can start making, you know, better optimized games. And it's funny too, because you would think that, well, it all comes down to everybody just wanting to look realistic, right? Like that's it. Everybody just wants to be realistic. So DLSS is perfect for that. You know what's funny though? So what is it? DLSS, is it 5.0? They started demoing that in such a manner to where, in theory, you can start overlaying whatever kind of graphics you want now on top of any game, and you can kind of create whatever visual style you want. What I mean by that is to say, for example, right now we're playing Elden Ring. But what if I wanted to make this look like, I don't know, My Little Pony or something, right? Technically, we could do it. DLSS 5.0 has that potential. So what's funny is that the more developers end up using DLSS, the more they're going to put themselves out of the job, because there's going to be a point to where the user can just say, make my game look like, you know, whatever the hell you want it to look like, and it'll do that. Oh yeah, there was a ton of hate on DLSS 5, and that's the reason why, because it makes artists essentially irrelevant. So now, so if you go and you watch the demos, DLSS 5 is literally now generating art. It's taking the base, like if you watch, I think it was Resident Evil 9, if you take the base of what it was applied to, it was then essentially reshaping everything. Oh, and they did it in Starfield. I think that was another example. Basically what they were doing is they were showing all it needs is a little reference material, and then it can generate, you know, a realistic looking thing, right? So in theory, in the future, you know, you can literally tell it, like, so for example, like all rats should look like ponies. And that rat over there will now be rendered as a pony. And it can do that no problem. And you don't have to have any artist touch it because AI knows what ponies look like, right? Like if I want this guy to look like somebody out of GTA, like make him look like CJ, not a problem. All of those guys will now look like CJ. So the implications of what DLSS 5, that's why people were hating on it. Because it's going to, that's the beginning of making like artists truly irrelevant to one degree or another. Because so like, the dream with AI is to ultimately, I mean, one day, you sit down at your computer and say, you know, I want to play a mixture of Bloodborne, GTA, and Civilization. And then the AI goes through and makes it. The AI can generate all the art, it can do everything, and it can render everything on the fly. It will not need an engine. So what it shows is that even people who code engines are worthless because you don't need an engine, right? The AI is slowly building up its own foundation on top of what's come before it. In theory, yeah, you won't need any of this. But anyway, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I have no idea what I'm doing. What am I doing? Oh. Have there been any new dungeons here? You mean in Caelid? Yeah, they changed up a couple of them, but I've only been in a couple of them. Let's see if they change this. Of course, I keep casting. Yeah, I'm off today. I'm kind of... Yeah. It's all right. I keep casting the same stupid spell. All right, I gotta focus. Yeah, what else happened today? Hold on. So, okay. Microsoft, they're cutting 4,800 jobs overall, with 3,200 in gaming. Okay, here's weird. So it says... Oh, okay, so right now they've only cut 1,600 out of the 3,200. Interesting. So that means there's another huge wave coming. So I wonder if they're going to count those cuts as studio releases, or if they're gonna cut more. Damn, dude, I wonder who they're gonna cut. I wonder if they'll touch 343 Studios or Halo Studios now. I mean, they don't do anything. They just ruin Halo. So do you really need developers doing that nowadays? Probably not. Yeah, that's crazy. What else would they get rid of? Get rid of all those guys altogether. Holy shit. Yeah, right. I'm not even a Halo fan, but I feel bad for Halo players. Oh god, he's gonna kill me. Ah! Yeah, man, that once again, it's the whole mismanagement thing, man. Like, I appreciate what Halo is. I have no problem with it. I played most of them. The last one I played was probably, I think 4 is why I gave up. But that studio ruined the franchise. They did. I remember, I think it was 4. It was on, yeah, 4, it was so boring. And I think that was the new one, the first new one that was made by that new studio, 343 or whatever. It was so boring. It was so run-of-the-mill. I don't know. At that point, there was nothing to it, so I just kind of moved on. But it sounds like they've screwed everything up, you know, continuously and constantly. Which is amazing, Because it's like you are given all of these resources and somehow you mess up. I mean, it's a first-person shooter, right? It's already basically designed for you. To make it even worse, you're just making a sequel, right? So it's like, just follow the formula. And they couldn't even do that. Which is, it's just mind-boggling. Right? They're given this golden opportunity to do something, you know, with Halo, to move Halo forward. And they don't do anything. And then they do it again. How many games has Halo Studios made? Did they make 3? They made, what, 4, 5, and Infinite, I believe? I think that's what they've done. So they've ruined 3 separate games, if I'm remembering correctly. It's just mind-boggling, man. Absolutely insane. Yeah, all 3 of them were trash. And you have to like go out of your way to make it trash. You know, like I said, at the very least, you could have just copied them. You could have just copied what came before. At the very least. Yeah, maybe it's not some crazy... Fuck. Damn it. Ah! I guess I'm not immune to that madness. Is Halo Wars any good? I want to try it. I played the first one. Did I play both of them? They were fine for console RTSs. Yeah, they were fine for console RTSs. And if you enjoy Halo, then you'll probably get even more out of it, I would say. God, how long ago was that? Dude, that is forever ago. Holy crap. Unbelievable. Wow, I lost all my runes, so it doesn't matter anymore. Yeah. Well, it's funny, you know, I'm just talking, and I'm not paying attention. So I'm like the worst streamer on the planet. I know. And then we die. Because the industry enrages me. I'm curious now who else Microsoft is going to let go. Yeah. Because if they've only done half of the layoff, like who's next? Do you touch the Halo Studios? I don't know. Maybe thin it up a bit. So they're currently remaking number 1. And that'll come out on PlayStation as well. So if they're, and I believe it releases this year, right? So if they're getting close to release, then they might cut fat from that studio. Huh. I could see that. Yeah, I could definitely see that. No multiplayer. How do you release? Okay, all right. Hold on. Like no PvP or no co-op? Because I thought I saw somebody complaining. No blood gulch. No. Wait, they're not doing any of that stuff? Wow. So what the hell are they doing then? What? Oh, they probably want people to go to Infinite. I guarantee you that's what they want. They want people to head over to Infinite for their multiplayer. Man. It's such scummy practices, right? Just play as Master Chief and the Sergeant. So they have a whole team doing a remake of the basic version of the campaign. Okay. Good God, man. That is insane. Fucking oh. Where the hell did he come from? Oh my God. So yeah, you have a whole team for Halo that's making the most basic version. And I believe they're doing it in the Unreal Engine. Yeah, that's gotta... Wow. The more I talk about it, the more ridiculous it gets. Just like me dying. Yes, thank you. Ah. Yeah, I keep forgetting that. I know. God, man. So, okay. They got rid of 1,600 people. And then they're also getting rid of, or they let go, Compulsion, Double Fine, Ninja Theory, and Undead Labs. It's very weird they bought, like, any of those. Like, why would you buy Double Fine? Like, the hell are you gonna do with that guy? You like Psychonauts? I get it. Psychonauts is fine. But that whole developer's track record is... I mean, it's especially lately, it's weak as hell. Because didn't they release some weird Lighthouse game or something that was, like, unbelievably stupid? And, like, 3 people played it. But it took them, like, 10 years to make it or whatever. It's such a weird purchase. This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about when I'm saying you could study this crap from a business perspective. Like, oh my God. I know, these guys keep just slaughtering me. I know, fight from a distance, fine. Fine. Damn, even the pets get messed up. But anyway, we're talking about Double Fine. Like, Double Fine, I don't even know why you purchased them. I think Phil was the one behind that crap. Because I think they were purchased while the majority of the people, while they were purchasing all those studios. Well, my guess, well, so during that time period, there was a huge just developer land grab, I guess you could say, right? Sony, Microsoft, everybody was just buying things, just buying developers to buy developers. Yeah, before the other one got to them. COVID turned all these executives' brains to shit. You know, and I don't disagree, right? It's still weird though. Like, it's such a weird business choice because a lot of these studios that they bought don't even like, you wouldn't do it. Like, for example, the funniest one is Bungie, right? Nobody wanted, you know, Microsoft wouldn't touch Bungie. They passed, and then Sony swooped right in. I mean, the fact that Microsoft passed should have been a huge warning sign to Sony, right? But Sony went for it. And at that point, they were essentially a garbage developer, right? They were, oh my God, dude. Okay, all right. So, yeah, now I'm gonna talk about it. Oh, I missed my runes. Where are my guys at? Sony could have bought them, but not for $2 billion. Yeah, dude, no, it's the whole thing is weird. The whole purchase is just so odd. Because the first thing that's funny for pretty much all of the developers that were purchased, and this really does go for basically all of them, is that essentially all of these developers were now on their way down. None of these developers were like making these amazing games that were really making waves or anything like that. Basically, these developers used to be good, and they were still coasting on those IPs from back in the day. Like Blizzard's a perfect example almost, or Blizzard's a semi-good example. Oh shit, no. Dude, he's got hella health. Where are my pets at? Holy shit. Hold on, I know. But basically all of these developers, they were already on their way out. Nobody was really buying their stuff. Yes, they had brand recognition, but that was it. There was no new stuff coming out. You know, Destiny was already like in trouble, a huge trouble. Not a little bit of trouble, but like it was done. It was already on the way out. And then Sony swoops it. I want to know how they got convinced that $4 billion was worth it. I would love to be in that negotiation room. Could you imagine that? I mean, the game is on its way out. They have a couple of trash projects kind of going. Oh, $4 billion, bro. What do you say? And Sony's like, yeah. I still think Jim Ryan thought that Bungie owned Halo. I still think he did. Such a weird purchase. I mean, he probably didn't. I know, but you know, but it's funny. Why else would you spend that kind of money? I mean, they could see the business reports, the financial reports for Destiny. It wasn't going up. Right, they were trending on losing stuff. You see that retarded? Well, yeah, dude. I mean, like I said, I'm not saying that's like, I say it in a half joke, but I could totally see it, dude. Jim Ryan, he was out of touch, and I know that usually CEOs are out of touch. I get that, but that dude was on a whole other level. Like, it was insane. So I could totally see him just charging right in there. Oh yeah, let's buy Bungie. They made Halo, right? Oh yeah, excellent. We'll really stick it to Microsoft that way. Yeah, $4 billion, whatever they want. We get Halo. I don't know. But regardless, even if he knew, and I'm sure he did, that they didn't own Halo, all you had to do was look at their basic user reports. Right, Destiny was on its way out, and to make it even funnier, Destiny was having trouble with, they had deleted content, so you had this whole pissed off fan base to where people, they were now missing their content. Where the hell did my pets go? And they were having issues with plagiarism. So and this is all during the sale, like. So my question is, how did that negotiation go, right? Oh, I see your player statistics are going down. I see you guys are having issues with deleting content because your developers are inept. $4 billion? Yeah, that's fine. We'll do that. $4 billion. What are you talking about, man? Like, what is going on? Insane. Yeah, and that's why I say the whole situation just weird. It's like business 101 is weird on these things. Wasn't Marathon originally a Doom clone back in the day? Yeah, so way back in the day. And I believe it was an Apple exclusive. But yeah, it was a Doom clone back in the day. It was Apple's Doom, sort of, right? And completely forgotten. You know, okay, haha. And that's the other thing. The fact that they went on ahead and did a Marathon revival, dude, nobody cares about Marathon. Like, nobody gives a shit. And they made it into an extreme. Yeah, so nobody already cared about Marathon. Like, let's be honest. Nobody really knew what it was. You know, even people who were alive back in the day, you know, what? Nobody knows what marathon is. That really shows you how desperate Bungie was for something, because they had no creativity left. If you're scraping the bottom of the barrel and you're running towards a marathon to help pull yourself out, I mean, that's it. I mean, that's your God damn it. These rats are tough, man. But yeah, if you're pulling out something like marathon, you're in trouble. And they should have seen that, right? During the purchase, Sony should have seen that. I mean, it's so obvious. This is not like a hidden thing. You know, it's not like it's a, gee, I wonder. No, it's obvious. Like, if you're using marathon for anything, you've fucked up. Your company's in trouble. Because nobody cared about marathon. And then, like you said, they turned it into an extraction shooter? Like, what? What was that decision? It really does show you how out of touch how out of touch Bungie really was, or is. I mean, they're just desperate. I mean, at that point, you can just see the desperation. It's not hidden. I mean, the desperation is right there. And it's because they don't have the talent anymore, right? Their talent is gone. Anybody who could do anything is gone. Battle Royale is one thing, but extraction genre is even more niche. Yes. So I wonder if, from their perspective, if they were like, well, you know, there's a ton of battle royales, and there are. Let's go try to find another semi-popular, you know, multiplayer shooter, and then try to do something with that. I'm gonna guess that that's how that design decision went down. Design decision went down. Because and the only reason why they take that approach is because they can't think of anything themselves. Isn't it funny? They didn't stop, and they weren't like, okay, we need to do something new. Why don't we create our own brand new game from scratch? Completely new style, new everything. Never even crosses their mind. It's not even something they think about. They have to copy what's going on. And that's what's crazy. Oh God. No. Holy shit. Jesus. But and that's the sad part, right? So if I was Sony and I was looking to buy a developer, I mean, the first thing is you should know that extraction shooters they're their own niche regardless, and they're not going to really grow crazy because of the kind of game it is, right? Oh God damn it. What did I do? Another story was that Bungie criticized The Last of Us multiplayer that was 90% done. Ah, yeah, so that's a whole other topic, right? Oh, yeah, see, this is the juicy stuff with Bungie. Hold on, let me kill this guy. So, it's obvious that Bungie, even when they're looking to buy them, Bungie is not in a good place. They're not in a good place creatively. They are not in a good place financially. They're not in a good spot. They're certainly not worth $4 billion. Okay. Sony buys them. And you're right. The excuse that Sony ends up using for spending the money that they spend is that they want Bungie to come in as a advisory role, basically. Just like you say, right? Sony asked. So for those who don't know, Sony had like 10 plus various games in development that were live service. and that's not inherently bad. I'm not against live service. I'm not. I'm against exploitative live service. That's what I'm against. So Sony has 10 plus games in development. They buy Bungie. They say that they buy Bungie for what they buy them for, not only just for the Destiny IP, which at that point they're starting to get shit for because the Destiny IP is not worth $4 billion. So they start saying things like, well, we need them to come in and advise all of our other developers. So yeah, so they do that. They come in and they apparently start going through all of Sony's studios, and they start telling, or they start giving their opinion. So they go to Naughty Dog, for example, right? Naughty Dog has a Last of Us 2 multiplayer in development. Some kind of a live service, it sounds like. And for whatever reason, Bungie gets to look at the project, and so for some weird reason, Bungie says don't move forward. And it's weird why they would do that. I mean, we don't know what that game was like. We don't know what was going on with that game. Maybe they should have gotten rid of it. I don't know. But as here Dirty Duck said, yeah, 90% was complete. And they cancel it. Bungie's only saving grace now is due to announce Destiny 3. That's what everyone was asking for during the last state of play. I don't think they're gonna ever do it. Here's my question on Destiny. I don't understand the player base for that game, I guess. Because it was dying, and I guess rightfully so. It sounds like Bungie made a lot of mistakes. And people weren't playing, obviously. And then all of a sudden, when they decide to close it down, suddenly people come back. And they say, well, now make a new one. How ironic. Bungie was better off with Activision than Sony. Well, that's the thing, right? That's the funniest part about this whole thing, is that's how useless Bungie is. Activision got rid of them because they were like, holy crap, these guys, they don't have it anymore. They're not good. Right? They were coasting along on what they had previously done. Yeah, this dungeon seems relatively way more powerful than it should be. Like, this guy, how many runes? We don't even get 1,000 runes for that. Jesus Christ. Jesus. Bobby Kotick actually took care of Bungie. Yeah, so yeah, during Bobby's time, well, that whole staff would have been different too, right? I mean, he invested appropriately. He got him rolling. But, you know, over time, and with everything that went on, you know, the staff changes, right? The dev teams grow, they get rid of other people, and then you end up with a new Bungie team that was not the original Bungie team, right? The people who originally made Destiny 2 are not the same people now, and you can see that, right? I mean, that's why players left. So so people want a Destiny 3, but do they really want a Destiny 3? I guess that's my question. Because Destiny 3 would be made by the people who completely screwed up your Destiny 2 game, right? It's not, I mean, that's who's gonna make the game. So my question to Destiny players would be, are you sure you want that? Holy shit. God damn, yeah, he killed my pets too. God damn. Yeah, this dungeon is needlessly difficult. What the fuck? The last update for Destiny 2. That was a month ago and it had 100K concurrent players on Steam. Yeah, didn't it even have 120 or something? Yeah, it had a ton. Well, and this is what I don't understand about Destiny players. Destiny didn't go anywhere, so where were all of these players 2 months ago? Right? They only started playing once they they officially closed down Destiny. You know, what that tells me is that players, you know, they miss what could have been. Like, and I see why they'd want a Destiny 3, but they're not. Destiny 3 is never going to happen the way Destiny players want. Like, it's not possible. It's not possible from two perspectives too. The first reason is that the current dev team doesn't have the talent. And I think that's what a lot of people don't quite appreciate, even though they see it right in front of their faces. Right? I mean, there's a reason why Destiny 3 ended up failing, or Destiny 2 ended up, you know, failing. Woo. And the other reason is money. Can you imagine how much it would cost right now to develop a Destiny 3? I mean, that's gonna be some money, man. The team is obviously bloated, so you can shave off some of Bungie, but you know, you've got to build a whole new sort of MMO world, and that takes a second. And of course, the graphics have to be realistic, so that takes even longer. And then you have to build all the infrastructure for it, and then you have to make sure that that infrastructure has the capital to be supported going on into the future. And nowadays, that's tough, man. Like building it, setting up servers and all of that. Like, that's not easy, and it's not cheap. Oh my god. Good god. I think the recent Bungie layoffs left them at half of what they used to be. Okay. Okay. So if they're down to, say, half of their team, the good news would be, I would imagine, that a lot of fat would have been cut off. So maybe you're left with talent. But, you know, the other problem is you're still stuck with, I mean, you're stuck with Marathon. Ha ha, see, it gets even worse. So Marathon is a live service game. They have to keep dumping money into that to keep it afloat. Starting another live service game, Destiny 3, that would be a financial and technical bitch. Even if you were doing like well. Like, even if the company wasn't doing like shitty, it's still, that's a chunk of resources. No, I have no idea where I'm going. I know. I'm looking. Hold on. See? There. See, and that's the other problem nowadays. Like, it's so expensive to approach a product like that. It's just, it's too expensive. And after spending $4 billion, I mean, had they spent like 700 million, I think that's still way too much money. But then, yeah, maybe you'd have the extra capital to kind of play around. But, you know, like was pointed out though, like Dirty Duck, like you said, like they went and they started canceling other projects too. So, you know, my question actually relative to that would be, were the projects really that bad? Or was Bungie just so inept and stupid that they just came in and canceled them because they're stupid? That's what I want to know. So, for example, that Last of Us 2 multiplayer game, like how good really was that? Because it's possible that it sucks. And that's the other thing that a lot of people don't think about, is that it's possible Bungie might have been right. As much as I don't want to say it, they may have looked at that and been like, no, this sucks. It's possible. They also had I believe they had a God of War live service game that they shut down. So that's interesting. I don't know how that would have worked out. Yeah, I don't know about that one. But they shut down like everything. Yeah, Bend. I think it was it Bend Studio doing that? Shit. Yeah, it's just insane, man. Yeah, God of War. See, what else did they have? Hold on. You know what? Let's look it up because now I want to make sure. We don't have. Oh, there was a Twisted Metal one. Twisted Metal had one coming out. Canceled. Sony. Let's see here. What did they have? Of course, I can't find a list because why would I be able to find a list? They have a new one called Fair Games. Ah, yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Okay, so they had the Last of Us one. They canceled that. That, I don't know. That maybe that could have been cool, but I don't know. Oh, yeah, that new Horizon one too. Thank you. That's right. And they were doing a Spider-Man one, which got canceled. Okay, okay, the Horizon stuff. So they've got the MMO is still coming out, I believe. And then there's that, what's it called? Some sort of Hunters or something for Horizon. That's in a completely different art style. So those are still going. Those were not canceled yet. Fair Games. Did they change the title of Fair Games? I thought I heard they changed that to like Break-In or some crap. I don't know. But anyway, Fair Games, what a nightmare that is, right? That developer was created by, was it Jade Raymond? Anyways, created by somebody who absolutely hates gamers. And of course, it's a live service game. So God knows what it's like right now. Yeah, Ass Creed Lady, thank you. Man, that's obnoxious. Ooh, what's this? I'm surprised they haven't... Actually, maybe I'm not surprised they haven't canceled Fair Games yet. Because it was created by a woman, Sony is not allowed to cancel it. So they're gonna have to... Yeah, they're gonna have to stick with it. That's funny. Cancel it and give the money to Bungie. I mean, you could do that, but you might as well... I mean, it all goes into the trash. Like, it doesn't even matter anymore. And I think that's the funny part. Like, how do you recover? Like, what do you even do? Woo. Because Sony... I mean, you look at these development teams now, and the talent is not there. So it's not like they might not actually be able to recover. And I think that's the crazier part, is they may not be able to recover. Woo. If I could stop staring at my wand. Oh, come on, really? Yeah, I know. I mean, if the talent is not there anymore, what do you do? I mean, it doesn't matter what you want anymore. The people can't physically develop it anymore. Why do I think Sony has variable pricing? Oh, now, that is insane to me. Yeah, okay, all right. You know, it's funny. You're just listing all of these horrific business decisions by Sony. I mean, it is bad. So, the variable pricing, that's weird, man. Like, that's a straight F you to gamers. To anybody, really. I mean, right there, in all honesty, gamers really should have been like, I'm done. We're finished. Get rid of that crap. But they're gonna take it. Console people are going to end up accepting that. You watch. That'll be the main future. And you watch, there's going to be websites that will start charting all the different variable prices to see who can get the lowest or who bought the most or whatever. Some stupid stuff like that. But it's just scummy. Like, all of their practices are scummy. Getting rid of disk drives. You know, that's scummy to a degree. Yeah, dude. Yeah, and I don't understand how anybody, as somebody who, if you, there's a point, I would imagine, as a consumer, as a loyal consumer, that you would have to call it. And what Sony's doing now is insane. I mean, between getting rid of the disk drives, God knows what the PS6 will cost, variable pricing, raising the price on PS Plus. Where does a Sony customer like win? That's my question. At what point do you just admit you're being raped for your money? Yeah, where do you draw the line? So for Sony users, I feel bad, but it's like, come on. Just stop buying their slop for 2 seconds. I mean, if they're gonna treat you like that, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, let me focus. Yeah, Sony is making incredibly weird business decisions, but then so is Xbox. And so that makes it even weirder, right? Because now we have Xbox is doing all of its craziness. Sony is being crazy. I mean, what's the future in general? You know, it just gets even weirder. I mean, does Xbox eventually just become a publisher? You know, does Sony eventually bow out of the hardware market? I don't know. Or do they just do handheld? I don't know. I don't know. The whole future of gaming right now is so weird. And unless gamers step up, it's gonna be, they're just going to keep taking advantage. Do I think it's a good idea that Project Helix might be a PC rather than a traditional console? I would if I were them. I mean, because think about it. I mean, there's no real benefit anymore for like a traditional locked down console. You know, I know Nintendo is still kind of doing good, but they've got a brand name. They have their own niche. They can get away with it for now. But even the Switch 2 is still close to a PC nowadays. It's not that much different. But the reality is, with developers and people, developers want their shit everywhere, right? Because they want money. Makes sense. So the easier it is to get their stuff onto hardware, the better. In the modern day, what if you were to do a traditional console? You know, what benefit do you get? I mean, you get to lock down your hardware, I guess. But other than that, what do you even get out of it? So I mean, the reality is, in my opinion, the traditional PC is basically going to be everything. Until Nvidia takes over with their shit and everything is locked down on the new PCs, and then we're screwed forever. But yeah, Helix being just a regular PC would be smart. And are they still planning on... I don't know if this is true or not, but are they still planning on even getting Steam on there still? I remember people talking about that. So if they were to sell it just as a straight... Oh, okay, even... You know what's even funnier for Microsoft? It's even funnier. I need to drink. Okay. You know, Microsoft, absolutely stupid company. Why? Well, we know many reasons, but Microsoft is like a PC company. Literally a PC company. It is so weird that they did nothing to dominate the market. So weird. Hearing it's like this, like a Steam machine? Project Helix? Yeah, okay. I wonder how open it will be, though. I guess that would be my next question. Could you install Steam, for example? I don't know why you would. You know, would it? How traditional of a PC would they really go, and how much should they go? Right? Because that's why I'm saying, like, they're a PC. They're a. Maybe you can go to desktop and install it. Yeah, right? Are they going to allow that? Will it be, hey, here's your new Xbox computer. You know, it has quick access to Game Pass, but you can also install Windows crap on it. And you can even, you know, install Steam. Would that benefit them? See, and that's the thing, like, in the modern day and age, Microsoft has screwed up so badly. They've screwed up so bad that other companies are just ahead of them now. Xbox backed by Microsoft, who is $1 trillion company. Yes. Right? It's so weird that Xbox or Microsoft, they had an opportunity to dominate everything. Scarlet Rot, what the hell? God damn it. They could have dominated everything. Right? They could have created hardware that was like, yeah, go ahead. You can install whatever you want. It runs on Windows. Go ahead and install Steam. Who cares? Right? We also have the Xbox part on there. Install our Xbox part. Either way, they're making money, right? Either way, they're getting something out of it. And they ignored it. They just let Steam, you know, over the decades take over the PC market. It's so weird that Microsoft didn't do anything to get involved in any of that. And now it's too late. Oh, what am I doing? And I think that's probably one of the issues now, is that it's too late. So they released Project Helix. Does anybody care? I guess that would be my question. If you're an Xbox fan, you don't really have any. There's no exclusives anymore. Sega partnered with them right after the death of the Dreamcast. Sega GT, Jet Set. Yep, that's true. But that was it. But they didn't do anything crazy though. They didn't take the Xbox environment and meld it with the PC environment. Right? They completely ignored the PC back then, especially back then. Xbox could have had a good relationship with Japanese developers. Yeah. They could have done tons of crap, and it would have been easy too. I think that's the funniest part about the whole thing, is that when all of this began, they were already in a position to dominate. Because everybody was using Windows. Now all you have to do is sell an Xbox piece of hardware that anybody could use, like a PC, or use it like a console if you don't care. No problem, here you go, take it. And then everything could have been an Xbox. But they didn't do that. They completely ignored the PC market. That, to me, to this day, it's insane. So, for example, the Japanese developers, back then, all they had to do was be like, yeah, here's our PC-capable console. Here's the dev kit. Have fun. We don't care. Go to town. Games for Windows Live. So that is where. So that was basically where you could see Microsoft was starting to understand they fucked up big time. That they had absolutely they had messed up. But what's funny about Games for Windows Live, what do they do with it? They half-ass it. They half-ass that. I have a Games for Windows Live account. I was for it. I was like, sweet, finally. Microsoft, they're going to allow us to play the console games, get achievements. We're going to start integrating. Cool, let's do it. And they did nothing with it. And it became trash. It's like Microsoft just didn't see. It's just so weird. It's like the epitome of missed opportunity from back in the day. And that opportunity is probably gone now. You know, in my opinion, I don't see what Microsoft does to stay relevant in gaming unless AI gaming takes over. They could have looked at Steam and gotten a head start. Yes, yes, to this day, it is mind-boggling that they did not have an entire company set up to specifically do that. I don't even know, I don't understand. And it's like the most basic bitch idea you could imagine. Right? They saw Steam succeeding. There's obviously a business model there. You know, go make your own goddamn Steam. Like, what are you doing? And they don't do anything until eventually they release a shitty, you know, games for Windows Live, which was buggy, ends up being garbage, is not supported. Like, it's just, it's absolutely insane. And so, and because they treated, you know, PC customers like that back in the day, and a lot of people still remember it, you know, a lot of people are done. There's a reason why the Steam machine is important. People are looking forward to it to get away from Microsoft. But they are. They want to get away from Microsoft. It's going to be funny when Valve officially releases the Steam OS for like any computer, and it's good, like it's solid, it's in a good release state to where somebody stupid like me can grab it, install it into my computer, and go. You know, what does Microsoft do there? I think everyone thought console gaming was the future back in the mid 2000s and early 2010s. Yeah, and it's weird because it's such an interesting period of time, right? Because there was a hardcore console push. Developers were sort of abandoning PC. Nothing crazy. If you look at Steam sales, there's always a slow trend upwards. But yeah, you're right. There was like this huge propaganda campaign to get rid of PC, to only go to consoles. And Microsoft dove right on top of that. I can understand why Sony did. Of course, Sony, that's what Sony had. That's fine. Right? Obviously, Nintendo, that's what Nintendo does. Fine. But Microsoft doing it was always weird because they already dominated the PC. They already dominated the PC place, the PC marketplace. Everybody was using Windows. We already had it. All of us. Most of us. Right? All they had to do was put a storefront up and call it a day. You know, one that worked. One that was not insulting and garbage. They didn't even try. They just pushed Xbox. And I just don't get why. Because you can have both. You can do Xbox and PC. Microsoft thought that OS sales were enough. Yeah, they did. And they were way complacent. I mean, they thought they did not have to do anything. They were already making money hand over fist. And they could just get away with whatever they want, and they could dictate the market however they want, and blah, blah, blah. And that was their attitude. Right? They took that attitude, and Steam just kept going. They didn't say anything. You know, they didn't do anything crazy. They just kept making a good product, kept it going. And Microsoft was all over the map. And now here we are. And it's funny, this isn't like hindsight is 2020 either, right? All this stuff needs to be in the history books. I should teach it. No, it's funny though. It literally, this is the kind of crap that you watch one day will be studied. Because of how just weird it is. And like I said, it's not a hindsight 2020 thing. Like, this is like basic, obvious stuff. I mean, and it is. Like, there's no mystery, right? If you're Microsoft and you own the PC market already, then keep doing things to own the PC market. It's that simple. There's nothing else. And they don't do it. They don't do it. They completely ignore it. And they believe that they think they are untouchable. They can just do whatever they want. People will continue to come over. And they fumble the whole thing. And it's weird how they fumble Xbox as well. Like, they really messed up with Xbox over the past, you know, decade plus. The Kinect was a weird one, right? Kinect being required for a little while on the Xbox. That was a weird decision. You know, trying to enclose their entire environment on the Xbox only and not branching out to PC. Absolutely stupid. Oh, and then Xbox One and Xbox One S. What the hell is that? Stupid. And there's tons more, right? But it's so weird. It's like, why would you do any of this? There's no reason. Like, literally no reason. They never recovered from that Xbox One showcase. No, they didn't. No, they really didn't. You know, I was proud of Xbox fans, you know, because they called them out to one degree or another. Are there any like true Xbox fans nowadays? Like, if you're an Xbox fan, what do you do? Like, what's your gaming life nowadays like? I mean, you really don't have exclusives. I mean, maybe in the future now you'll have a couple, but I don't know. I don't get it. All the hardware across the industry is starting to become homogenous, so you don't need an Xbox. Yeah, a lot went to Sony. You're correct. Because at that time, Sony was still smart, more or less. They were still treating their console as a console environment. They were not, for example, they didn't force the Move on us, right? You didn't have to have a Move controller. So, okay, smart. So, all of these little extra things, you don't have to have them. They're fun, but they're not required. You know, Microsoft didn't understand that. Talk shit about Xbox and X all day. Yeah, right? And from a market perspective, it is such a weird thing. From an industry perspective, you know, it's just so weird. Oh shit, I'm invaded. Ah. Woo! Oh shit! Did she always fight like that? Oh my god. Oh, I'm getting my ass kicked here. See, Xbox is enraging me. It's causing me death. Is it too late or can it be saved? Well, so that's my question too, right? Because if you think about it, how do you save it? Because okay, so if we look at the hardware landscape, let's just look at hardware, because if an Xbox would in theory have its hardware, there's nothing new with hardware anymore. There's no new innovations. There's nothing with hardware that's like, oh wow, I've never seen that before, I've got to get that, right? I mean, even if you look at something like the Switch 2, the Switch 2 is still, I think their claim to fame this round was they added a mouse, which is good, but the mouse is not new, right? It's not new technology. So technology itself is stagnated to one degree or another. So if you're Xbox and you want to get somebody to come and buy your new machine, what's your new gimmick? Like, what do you offer somebody? So that would be my first question, because if you're going to want somebody to get locked into your console, yes, you can try to do it with exclusives, but the exclusive situation right now sucks, right? It's not good. Like, your customers are going to look at that and be like, no, I'm not buying your Xbox for one game, right? It's not happening. So my first question would be, can can Xbox do something with their hardware? Is there some new gimmick that can be added? Something that would make people want to buy specifically that machine? I can't think of anything. So what that means is that then they are just going to go back to standard PC hardware, right? I mean, that's just what it's going to be. It's going to be same thing everybody else already has. So, and if you go that route, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that route. But if you go that route, then you're not really offering your customers anything new. Marketing, bring back early 2000 teenage angst. I wish. But even with marketing, what do you market, right? I mean, you know, how would you even bring people back? Still got Scarlet Rot. Wow. Like that's my question. Like, why? Okay, why would you buy a new Xbox over, say, a Steam machine or over a PS6? Like, what really is going to get that customer to care? I can't think of anything. Unless you're a die-hard, like, Gears of War fan right now. That's pretty much all you have. Halo's gone. Halo sucks anyways now, but Halo is now multi-platform. Right? They want, especially Infinite, they want that out there. Oh, you know what? Oh. Yeah, that's why they're not adding multiplayer to Halo 1. They're just going to put it on the multiple systems and then funnel everybody back to Infinite, and they're going to hope that makes Infinite come alive. Yeah, that's going to be the plan. You watch. But otherwise, I think Xbox, you know, last week we were actually talking about, does Microsoft sell Xbox? I don't know. Maybe you sell it. I don't know. Make Call of Duty, Diablo, Forza exclusive on Xbox and PC. You could do that. But I don't know if the revenue would be... I don't know if... I think you would more than likely take too much of a financial hit. So if you were to make those exclusive, let's do a thought experiment. You make those exclusive. Man, I'd have to see the financial numbers, but is that going to be enough to make people come over to you? I mean, yeah, you would definitely capture a crowd, especially if you were to do it right as a console generation flips. You could try that. That would be an interesting situation. Yeah, that would be interesting. I'd actually love to see it just to see what would happen. Woo. But otherwise, I don't know. Is it smart to make software exclusive? That's another question. That's actually another good general question nowadays. Should software be exclusive at all? Regardless of what company you are. So, for example, what if... I mean, should Sony have released Horizon on Xbox? For example? Would that have been smarter? I wonder. And that's the thing. The idea of exclusives is antiquated, and I'm starting to agree with that, because the more I think about it, you know, I'm not going to switch. If you're going to make something exclusive, to me, what that does nowadays is that says you don't really you want a closed environment. You are not looking to build a game to where everybody can jump in and play and really have fun. You're looking for a closed environment. And I don't want to play in a closed environment. The practice also feels sort of scummy too. That's another interesting thing. Because nowadays when I think of an exclusive, now I just think that company is just trying to exploit me for money. I don't think, oh wow, this company really, you know, it used that exclusive hardware to really get the most out of this game, and that game could only be made on that hardware. It's not like that. So if you're an exclusive, you kind of have a negative connotation now, because now you're just money grubbing in a time where there's a lot of money grubbing, right? There's a lot of this stuff going on, you know, treating customers like just like trash. I mean, like, look what Sony's doing right now, right? I really hope that all of this stuff finally one day breaks people. I hope it happens to where hopefully one day a lot of people wake up and they're like, you know what? I'm done. I'm not buying that new game this time. I'm not doing it. I would love to see that. Sony will come back to PC, just watch. Yeah, so I agree. And I agree. I think they'd be a fool not to. But you know what's funny? The funny part about Sony and PC is their games are shit, right? Like, most of the games they released are just not good. So they might still get bad sales, not because people don't want them, or not because the market sucks, but just because they make shitty games. So Sony's in a weird position, actually, when it comes to that. Because their games, well, there's two problems. The first problem is that they release their games way late. It'll be interesting to see if they ever do a one-to-one parity sale, to where on the first day it comes out on PlayStation, it then also comes out on PC. It'll be interesting to see if they ever try that. But that's what they've got to do. But they also need to make a good game, right? If they're going to keep making this, you know, movie slop, then people are just going to go watch it on YouTube. They don't need to buy it. And they're certainly not going to buy it if it comes out like a year later. Because if you make movie slop and then you release it on PC a year later, people are just going to go watch the movie on YouTube and they're done. Right? They're not buying your game. So Sony from a business and a design position right now is in a really weird situation. Like, they've got a lot of things to figure out. And I don't think they can do it. I don't think they have the self-awareness to truly appreciate what's going on. Yeah, because they're just going to keep forcing what they think should be forced. Yeah, I think there's a boss around here. Maybe? Am I crazy? Huh. But what Sony is learning is that you can't force this stuff. People are not really going for it anymore. Where the hell am I? Is it over here? I should level. You're right. I should level. Holy crap. But yeah, so Sony's approach, now that I think about it more, Sony's approach is very, very brutal. They're really just forcing you into it, right? No, this is our way of doing things. We're not changing. We're investing in it. It has to be like this. And that's kind of what they're doing. They're brute forcing everything. And people are really starting to push back now. The hell is that boss at? Just over here. Oh, we fought there. What old IP would you bring back for Sony PlayStation? Probably none, because they would ruin it, but okay. Aside from that, what old IP? All right, I got one. It's old-ish. It's not the oldest. if I were them, I would revive Killzone. Bring Killzone back. I guess it depends on what kind of game you want to play. If you want to make another shooter or a multiplayer focused Killzone. Anyway, I'd bring Killzone back, but then go all out with it. Don't be a little bitch with your development team. Just go crazy with it. I mean, make it awesome. Get that art design up to speed. You know, get everything solid. So, for example, what they could have done with Marathon, well, no, I guess that wouldn't have mattered. Anyway, but yeah, use the Killzone IP, because there's still potential there. It would have to be done right. What IP would you bring back? I'd be curious to hear that. Yeah, what IP? See, they brought back Jack and Dexter recently. What other stuff? Oh, yeah, Siphon Filter, that's one. Sly Cooper. Hey, did they actually redo that recently, or maybe a few years ago? Or am I crazy? Let's do that. Would a Sly Cooper... I wonder what Twisted Metal... Yeah, so they were making a Twisted Metal game. That was one of the live services they got rid of. Woo. Yeah, so that's one of the games that was in the making. They were making a Twisted Metal live service game. They canceled that. Oh, I got Scarlet Rot. God damn it. I know, I gotta stare at my staff for 12 years. Yes. Yeah, so they were making a Twisted Metal game that got canceled, which leads me to I wouldn't be surprised if that sucked though. I wonder would people really care about a car combat game nowadays? See, I don't know. If they were to do a Twisted Metal, for example, which would be fine. I think Sony would have to be comfortable with it being relegated more towards, it's not going to sell 10 billion copies, right? You're not going to have 20 million concurrent users every day. It's not going to happen like that. But you could get a relatively stable population. You could probably pull that off. And that's the other problem, right? Like any game that we would want revived, right? They have to have it sell 20 million copies within 24 hours. And if it doesn't, then, you know, they quit. They cancel it. It's gone. You know, the expectations are unrealistic as well nowadays. So you have unrealistic expectations. You have crappy, no talent developers anymore. Like, what do you do for the future? Right? That's for Sony and Xbox. So, you know, releasing the next gen consoles are going to be funny. That shit is going to be hilarious. Because I don't know what they're... I don't know how you entice anybody to come in. Because I don't think like chat has said, I don't think exclusives are going to do shit. Not anymore. Those days might be over. Oh, you know what's funny? I think that's kind of I think that's something that maybe needs to start being admitted to, is that a lot of the old ways of doing things just need to go away. Like the concept of exclusives, for example. It just needs to end, you know? It's just time to move on. You know, just don't waste your time with it anymore. Oh, god dang it. And I think that's the kind of things that I wonder if the people or the leadership at the top of these companies will ever look at that concept and realize that they actually need to let it go and move on and try to figure out a different way to do things. So that's probably one of the biggest challenges, and they may not be able to meet that challenge. So if your leadership can't meet that challenge, then how do you ever move forward? We might be really watching one hell of a crash here, basically, for gaming. And it's going to be like because gaming has to change. Yeah, gaming has to change. It can't stay like this, obviously. Yeah, I mean, look at the way gaming is. Gaming is changing, you know, whether people want it to change or not. You know, for better or worse. You know, the reality is gotchas are now a huge part of gaming. I think that sucks, but, you know, it is what it is. Ooh, we gotta get rid of that guy. No, I have no idea what I'm doing. No clue. I don't even know where the hell I'm at right now. Yeah, gaming does have to change. Well, well, it's already changed. I guess what I mean is that the developers and the hardware manufacturers, they need to understand that it's changed and they need to change with it. Yeah, it's funny if you think about it. You know, none of these hardware developers, Sony, Xbox, you know, they're not doing anything that's new or unique. I mean, they're not doing anything that would make you really care, right? To get excited about. Like we were talking about earlier, how do you get excited about a console nowadays? Like, what would you be excited about? You know, the mobile market has the same problems with phones, right? There's nothing new coming out to get excited about. So what do? God, is there 2 Graces that close? Jesus. Ah, the Grace is in this game, I swear to God. But why would you ever get excited, right? Like, you wouldn't. There's nothing to get excited about because there's nothing really new or interesting coming out. Oh, shit. Oh, they must have changed this. Where the hell am I? Huh. Yeah, I think they added some stuff up there. I think. I don't know, maybe not. Let's go around. I know, my bad. But yeah, so there's nothing to get excited about regardless. Like we were talking about the potential of exclusives, but exclusives are probably, if not for sure, a dying concept. Right? Only the most hardcore fan is really gonna, you know, go out of their way to stick to an ecosystem for like 1 or 2 exclusives. And I would say a lot of those fans don't exist nowadays. Right? Because both Sony and Microsoft have done such a good job pushing everybody away from their own ecosystems. How could you stay a fan? If you love Xbox, what do you love about Xbox right now? I can't think of any reason why you would care. I mean, they've treated that ecosystem like trash. They really have. And then if you look at Sony, they've done the same thing. I mean, Sony right now is in the news for tons of crap, right? I mean, it's insane what Sony is doing to its customers. So why would you stay loyal? Yeah, we're gonna skip the dialogue. Screw it.
Can you as well make?
Yeah, so I don't know. Is that no? That's not new. Ugh. Huh? Did they add stuff? I don't know. Well, let's go find out because I don't remember anything. Would the new Twisted Metal have been fun? See, like I was saying, in my opinion, car combat games, there's not really. I mean, what's the fan base for that? You would think that if there was, all right, well, think about it like this, right? If there was a desire or a demand for car combat games, you know, an indie dev could have picked that up by now. Or an AA dev would have picked it up. You know, why not, right? I think the reason, you know, nobody's picking it up because there's nothing. Why don't people like them? So, okay, here's my perspective. I don't not like car combat games. The concept is fine, but it doesn't really seem to like. In modern gaming, it seems like we have better alternatives if I want to run around and shoot. I don't know. It's the concept of driving around in a car. Okay, well here, okay. From my perspective, it's the same problem as flight simulators. So this is a good way to put it. In a car combat game, you have a pretty large open area you're fighting in, right? City, whatever. Everything's driving all around, lots of corners, but it's a huge area generally, right? Your car combat game cannot be in some tiny ass arena, right? But you're still a shooting game. So one of the things that you have to do in that shooting game is you have to be able to hit somebody. Well, to hit somebody, you're probably going to have like locked on missiles, you know, things like that, things that will track the players you are shooting at. The problem with that is the second you start adding like missiles that will track the player, you are removing the skill base from that game. And then of course the chaos of the car combat game itself, you know, you've got all kinds of crap going on, everybody's shooting all of their missiles. The gameplay gets lost. The gameplay becomes muddled. For example, if you look at a first-person shooter, you know, I know it can get crazy, but you're generally in control, right? Unless you're playing with a controller, then you have an aimbot, but whatever. We won't go into that. But the action is more focused. It's more you pointing at what you want to hit. There's a connection. But with a car combat game, you've probably got like 6 different kind of homing missiles that are just launching out everywhere on the screen, and you're just hoping and praying it hits. There's no real skill there, you know? So I think over time, what has happened is people just kind of bowed out, man. And Nintendo already did it back in early 2000s, so it was nothing new. Oh yeah, and then of course if you want, you still get your fix from Mario Kart. You know, if you're really looking for that kind of stuff to some degree. Yeah, you have Mario Kart. And a couple of other little ones, like Sonic Racer. Yeah, we're getting rid of this ball. No, they added this. This is brand new. Alright. So, my contention would be, Jesus. It's not engaging enough. So think about, okay, so if they had released that Twisted Metal live service game, you know, how long would people have really stuck around? Because you're going to have to constantly upgrade people. You're going to have to constantly have new weapons and stuff. And those weapons are probably going to have a lot of tracking. Tons of tracking. And eventually it's just going to become, it's just a graphical mess, right? Of just missiles everywhere. Good God, die! Holy shit! okay. So, for car combat games, I would say there's appeal, but I don't think anybody has figured out the recipe yet. That's a better way to put it. Ooh, what the hell is this? Aw, shit. Okay. Maybe a developer can figure it out. I'm not saying it's impossible. But I wouldn't play a car combat game for those reasons. It's too spammy. It's too, you're just spraying and praying. You're just hoping that your stuff hits, and you're disconnected, right? So yeah, the car combat game. Do I think The Last of Us multiplayer would have sucked? I don't know. That's a weird one. That's a weird one because Naughty Dog has made, obviously, multiplayer games in that genre, but I wonder if their current dev team could have made that concept fun, or could have grown it the way it really needed to be grown. I don't know. I would imagine that when Bungie came over and canceled it, I would imagine they probably did it for a good reason. Okay, think about it like this. Because I know that people out there, you know, they like Naughty Dog, and regardless of your opinion on The Last of Us, you know, there's still skill there, and I agree completely. The developer absolutely still has skill. But, hold on. Let's do that. Let's make it an even 30. Do they still have does the current dev team have the skill? That would be my question. Does the current dev team have what it takes to pull off a fun game? And I think that's going to be the discrepancy. Because, right, well, remember Neil, whatever his name is, said we don't use the term fun at Naughty Dog. So, okay. Well, if you're going to give me a live service game, it better be fun, dude. Otherwise, I'm not paying for it. I'm not buying your microtransactions. So, what were they doing with the design philosophy? I don't know. But it's entirely possible that they completely missed the mark. And maybe the Bungie people are right in canceling it. It's not impossible. I don't even want to give Bungie the benefit of the doubt, but it's possible. And the reason why it's possible is because I don't think modern Naughty Dog's got it. Oh shit. I don't think modern Naughty Dog could pull it off. Right? They probably had some really good tech to show off. Stuff like that. But I don't think they probably didn't really have an engaging game. Yeah. Did I like The Last of Us in general? Nah, not really. I only played the first one. I played the first one because back then, Naughty Dog had not gone to shit yet. But I remember why didn't I like it? Well, it was just very bland. You know, Naughty Dog wants to tell a story, and that's fine. You know, it's another movie game. With good technology, right? The tech is good, but ultimately and overall, the game, it was just too bland. You know, I never really felt like I was playing a game. Always felt more like I was just doing some things to get to the next cutscene that the developers felt they had to put in there to make me get to the next cutscene to call it a game. I think that'd be the best way for me to say that. Oh yeah, my pets, thank you. I know, I've been talking non-stop. Holy crap. So anyway, so The Last of Us, I don't know. It was just too plain. I never touched 2 because I'm done with Naughty Dog. Yeah. They don't, like I said, right? They don't use the term fun. Well, all right. But I'm not buying your game. I'm here for fun. Woo. What is going on? Oh. No, I have no idea what I'm doing right now. Find the seals? Okay. All right. I forgot. I have no idea what's going on. Ooh, let's get this guy. Oh. Yeah, it is sad. Yeah, it is sad what happened to Naughty Dog. I agree. Well, like, you know, they used to be, they were pushing boundaries within, you know, with respect to gaming. Maybe not gameplay itself, because even their gameplay is still, you know, shooting stealth, so there's not really crazy stuff going on there. But the implementation of what they did was fun. And then the stories used to be fun too, right? Uncharted used to be fun. I gave up after 3 because during 3 it was obvious that things were changing at Naughty Dog. So I haven't played any after that. Will I play it? Nah, no. Nah, I'm done. So you'll never play 2. Nah, I'm not. I don't want to support that crap, right? And that comes down to what we've been talking about the whole time, right? Gamers supporting slop when they should not be supporting it. So now, what if I pirate it? I'm not pirating it either. Nothing. I don't want any of that stuff being near me. That's the ultimate form. Like, that's the ultimate form of protest, right? I'm not going to experience any of your stuff. I'm not going to pay for it. I'm not going to watch it. I am not going to consume it whatsoever. Right? And if you do it like that, then, you know, nothing can stick in you psychologically. I know, we're getting too deep. Too deep for me. Okay. So what do I think happened with the multiplayer? Specifically? I don't know. So, you know, my question, I would wonder, how are they going to monetize it? So what would it be, like skins? Would they do skills? Like what would they do, right? What would they do to keep you guys coming back? What about the Star Wars games? Do I ever play those? No. I think what's the last Star Wars game I played? Star Wars is dead to me, man. Star Wars should be dead to everybody. It should be over. No, I'm trying to think. What's the last Star Wars game I played? Probably the one with Star Killer. Fuck, what was that? God, is that the last Star Wars game I played? You know what we should do? I've been meaning to do it anyway. We should play Knights of the Old Republic. That'd be fun. Stream that. Oh, we should do that. That could be fun. No. I'm thinking too much now. Yeah, we could do like a story playthrough of Knights of the Old Republic. I haven't done like a story playthrough yet streaming. Do people watch those? To where we see, because I don't like, why would you watch that? You could go on YouTube and watch the story. You don't need me yelling at you. Could be fun though. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I thought you were going to play demos. Ah, yeah, today's the last day of Convergence. That's fine. For a while. We'll get back to it. It was just already set up, okay? I don't know. My character's stupid. What do you want from me? Yeah, no, we'll try some demos. What I want to do is I was looking at... So I've been kind of going through X, looking for indie developers who are active, and then maybe grabbing their crap and trying to stream it for them. You know, because this channel is so popular. But yeah, we could do that. I think it'd be fun. And then I do want to do Splinter Cell. And then Chaos Theory. And then, yeah, we'll try Resident Evil 5 here soon. But we'll do that in co-op at night. You got to do that in co-op. But we're still trying to figure out the co-op thing and how streaming on co-op kind of works and what we should do and shouldn't do. So... Well, that's the thing, right? Because that's like prime time. Like right now here, nobody watches this crap. But prime time, people kind of come in. But if it's not working, then people leave and they never come back. And, you know, so we got to figure that out. What? Thanks for what? No. I mean, like, no, I appreciate everybody here today. I mean, like, relatively speaking. Relatively speaking. It's funny, so... no, what I've noticed is that in the evening, we'll have a lot more people hop in. And during the day... Oh, you know what else? And during the day, not so many. Which makes sense, right? Everybody's at work. I'm only streaming now because I have the time to do it. But we got to figure out the evening stuff, too. That I gotta figure out. But evening is like co-op night, you know? So the co-op thing has to... It's gotta work right. What would I do with a Last of Us game? Online game? To make it work? Oh god, I don't know, man. The problem with Last of Us stuff is that there's nothing really, everything's been done in that whole category, right? Yeah, no, I'm running like a bitch. Hold on. Like what would make you play, right? What would make you stick around? What would make you pay money for whatever they have going on? I can't think of anything. It's just gonna be a shooter. Maybe we go and grab resources. Maybe there's a little bit of whatchamacallit? Whatchamacallit? My mind just went blank. I'm streaming too long. You know, resource gathering, you know, risk versus reward, that kind of stuff. But how much do you push that? Like, how far are you willing to go with that before it becomes too niche? So I don't know. Oh, you know what? I wonder if that's what it... Oh, I wonder if that's what it was. Oh shit, is that what it was? Was it an extraction shooter? Holy crap. If it was an extraction shooter, then Bungie says cancel it, and then they release Marathon. Oh my god. What if you got to pick a side, be a survivor or a zombie? That could be fun. The asymmetrical PvP could be fun if it's done right. But okay, if you do that though, if you do that, what that means then is that you need, the zombie side will have to be interesting to keep people coming back, right? So one of the problems then design-wise is you've got to design your zombies to not be boring, right? You've got to want to come back to be the zombie. And I wonder if you could do that for a long-term game. Zombies would have to kill other players to keep going. Yeah, you could do all kinds of things all kinds of things gameplay-wise. But if it's going to be a live service game, which is what it was, how do you keep, you know, how do you keep people coming back wanting to play a zombie? And I think that's where things might get weird. Because I can't think of any game right now on the market to where you play as the monster side in a live service game and you keep coming back to spend money to play as the monster. So okay, basically maybe nobody's really tried it. Well, no, people have tried it. They just did a bad job with it. Yeah, there's that. Oh, what am I doing? Like casting the same buff over and over. Oh, come on. Ah! See, this Last of Us shit is angering me. Yeah, but that would be your problem from a business perspective. Yeah, because you'd have to keep players coming back because you've got to generate that cash flow. The human side is easy, right? Human side, you offer cosmetics, upgrades, and you could do the same thing for the... You could do the same thing for the monster side. But I don't know. A lot of people don't really seem to get any appeal out of fighting as the monster. So it's an interesting conundrum. Because there have been games that kind of tried it a little bit, and they're gone now. Like, what was it? Evolve, I think, is one of them. And, yeah, nobody plays that. It's shut down. Shut down quick. Because, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, so I wonder how they were approaching it. They may have had that. You know, it's funny. They may have had that. And Bungie may have seen that and been like, eh. Other games have kind of tried it, and it's never worked out. Oh. So, I don't know. Maybe Bungie did shut it down because it was an extraction shooter. Maybe. You know, it would make sense. It would make sense for it to be an extraction shooter, actually. If anything is going to be an extraction shooter, it would make sense that The Last of Us would be an extraction shooter. So that would be funny if they shut it down for that reason. That would be funny. What about the God of War game? Oh, so we don't know anything about that. So same with the Last of Us game, right? We don't know what was going on. We don't know what the gameplay was. We don't know anything. And in my opinion, I know I keep casting the same stupid spell. The fact that we don't know anything probably speaks volumes. Yeah. Oh, I mean, think about it. Think about it like this. Like it or not, The Last of Us is known, right? There's a following. You could potentially, you know, gain a multiplayer following with a new Last of Us multiplayer game. That's possible. So the fact that Naughty Dog never showed anything, they never said anything, you know, maybe it really did just suck. And even they knew it. Because you would think that Sony would, you know, you'd kind of tease it, right? You would do something. Yeah, they should have teased it. Yeah, and they never did. We never really got anything for it. I think the most we got, outside of the acknowledgement that it existed, was some, I think we got some concept art, which was like, whatever. Yeah, we're gonna be stuck here for the rest of the freaking day. Oh my god. Yeah, I'll probably have to go soon. It's getting close to time. But anyway, so we never saw anything from Naughty Dog. And then, for example, the God of War thing, we never saw absolutely anything. In fact, we barely even knew that existed until the cancellation started. Could have just been a trademark grab to make sure it didn't expire on them since you have so many years. Yeah, it's entirely possible. All that stuff, there's probably a lot of that that's going on with all of the buyouts and with all of the transactions and the movement in the past like 5-ish years or so. Yeah, easily. I could see stuff like that happening. But we'll never know because everybody kept their mouths shut. I want to see what the God of War one looked like. Yeah, me too. Like, what do you even do with that? Because, you know, modern God of War is not good. It's not good, right? They've completely made it bland and boring. And they're not going to go back to the old art style for sure. So you'd have a bland, boring art style on top of very typical, I don't know, I guess bland beat 'em up gaming. I don't know what you would do. I mean, everybody can't play as Kratos. So maybe you're a random soldier, and I don't know, dude. But we don't know. We didn't get any information. Yeah, maybe one day. Maybe one day we'll get it leaked. Yeah, I would love to see that. You think they would hype it up if they cared? Yeah, so it's funny when you look at all the various... When you look at the different live services that we found out Sony had, they didn't really hype up anything. I think the only major one was Fair Games, which I think is now called Break-In, but I don't know. I think they had to change the name because everybody made fun of it too much. Which makes sense, right? Nobody wants to play that crap. But they did release trailers for that game, right? They tried to hype that one up, and everybody dogpiled on them, right? Everybody made fun of them. So I think once that happened to Fair Game, I think they stopped. Until they were going to have a product to show people, I think they were just done. Advertising, done advertising. So that's why we didn't get any screenshots or anything about any of that stuff. Like, they didn't show us anything. Right? Like I said, we didn't even know some of that stuff was happening until the closures went down. So it makes you wonder, you know, how much faith did they really have in any of it? And probably not a lot. And Sony's stupid, right? Look at all the stupid things they did. They bought Bungie. So you can only imagine that if Sony does not have faith in your project, you're probably not doing really good, right? It's time to move on with life and figure stuff out. And then Bungie showed up and sealed the deal, right? They got rid of everything. I don't remember being able to use our horse last time in the original. Yeah, I don't know. It's fine, I'll take it, but still. Pointless, all of these... How would you make a God of War game a live service? Like I said, I guess you just make your character. You get, I don't know, you follow Kratos into whatever weekly battle he's doing, and then you buy cosmetic upgrades, and then... I don't know, you get raped by Sony. What do you even do with that? The problem with that, I would say, would be, yeah, how do you keep people coming back? Like, what would you do? Would it be like an open world thing? Would you keep it closed? I don't know, dude. The God of War one is weird because we could right now think of all kinds of fun ways to really do a God of War live service game. We could do that, right? We'll do it. Fine. I mean, just think about it. All right, fine. You create your character. You create your Spartan warrior. Let's go back to Sparta. But oh, they probably wouldn't go back to Sparta. Nah, they probably wouldn't. They'd probably chill in the Viking era. So that's another interesting problem. I know I keep running from everybody. I don't know what I'm doing. Jesus. So yeah, we'd get Viking era, which isn't inherently bad, but because the art design is so boring. I mean, could you imagine the cosmetics for that? I mean, you'd be walking around as like, just like some hobo, basically, talking like a Zoomer or a millennial. It would be. Nobody wants to play that. Nobody wants to play that. I don't want to play that. Yeah, I don't know what you do. Okay, well, hold on. I guess, no, the challenge was I got to figure it out. Fine. So you create your warrior. You then, Kratos tells you to go to the battlefield and go kill 20 dudes here. Then you move on and then go kill another 20 dudes. And then you group up with people to kill 20 dudes. And then you buy cosmetics at the store with gems that you earn while you're killing 20 dudes. There. It was probably that's probably the gameplay. What I just said, that's probably it. Go ring the bells. Oh yeah, okay, all right. I don't know where I'm going. They changed up a lot of this. We'll go back up here. It's fine. What about Twisted Metal? What else would we do with that? You know, like I said, car combat, I don't know. That would actually be, that's a good thought experiment. Because if you can crack that, like if you could figure out how to make car combat engaging again, that would actually go a long way to general game design. Yeah, you could maybe do it. It's just that general chaos of car combat that, that causes the issues, right? All the stuff we already talked about. Oh, Jesus, what the... Damn. It's been a long weekend. Yeah, I know. What is fair games? Yeah, nah, we can call it here. I think that's fair. Alright, let's call it here. I'll be on later on tonight, probably. We'll probably do some Resident Evil. Oh, no. Dark Souls 2. We'll do Dark Souls 2, finish that up. And then eventually we'll get into Resident Evil. But tomorrow's stream, let's go ahead and... I'll find a demo. We'll find a demo, we'll see what's up, and we'll go from there. Yeah. Well, the issue with demos is that demos, I don't know how long they might last, or if they even are going to work correctly. So we'll find something. I'll have a couple queued up. How about that? Okay. Alright, I will be on later, everybody. Have a fantastic day. Go do something, you know... Go do something with your life.